Okay, folks, so this is just another reminder to anybody that might not be aware. We're experiencing continuity of government administration right now, and a continuity of government at the state, local, at every level, okay? And part of their continuity of government for their national essential functions, the first thing is to preserve our constitutional government, okay? So it's going to be tested. And right now it is most definitely being tested. They are definitely testing our Constitution that was written and drafted up years ago. So, a lot of these games and a lot of these things that we're seeing played out are testing this entire system of what they call the United States of America, okay? Our governmental body is testing for resilience, testing for all kinds of things at every level, at all branches, right down to the local. The continuity of the executive level, the legislative, and the judicial branch. They are most definitely testing the judicial branches right now heavily with cases that we wouldn't have even imagined that they would ever even be hearing. They are holding hearings and court sessions to hear cases about things that we wouldn't even imagine they would even ever have to consider. But they are considering a lot of different things right now, and everything is being tested, okay? Continuity of government is a coordinated effort within each of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches to ensure that governance and essential functions continue to be performed before, during, and after an emergency. COG is an outcome of a viable continuity program and capability. COG is intended to preserve essential functions, there's that word essential, and the statutory and constitutional authority of all levels of government across the United States, okay? Disasters can cause local and regional emergencies by threatening the ability of jurisdictions to execute their statutory authorities, perform essential functions, and deliver essential services. Plans should be scalable and flexible to meet the varying requirements, threats, and needs of the supported organizations or jurisdictions, whether small localities, large cities, or state, territorial, or tribal governments, to achieve COG outcomes. They have an agenda, okay? And ultimately, the end game is to preserve our constitutional government, okay? And, there's all the other things, of course. Defend the country. That's number 3 on the list. Maintain foreign relations, protect the homeland, provide emergency response, recovery, maintain a stable economy. Well, that's certainly being tested right now too, isn't it? They are definitely testing all of this, every bit of this. Provide critical government services. So in other words, make sure that the government has more control when it's all said and done, pretty much. But yeah, we're not really, at this point in time, folks, we're not really like the United States of America. We are more like, let me see here, we are more like the 10 regions of FEMA. Is more what we are. And now, right now, for us here in Nevada, we're number 9 there. We're lumped in with California, Arizona, Hawaii, and all of these islands and sit out there. I think it's Guam even too. Nevada, Region 9, Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, Guam, American Samoa, Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, Republic of Marshall Islands, and Federated States of Micronesia. So yeah, our manager here has got a lot on their plate, huh? But you can see, let's see, Michigan is Region 5 and includes Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So right now, we're given the impression that it's our local leaders, so-called leaders as they call themselves, and legislators, Congress, all that's, having our voice, our representatives and everything like that. But it's really FEMA that's running the bigger show here. And I don't know if y'all are aware of it, but FEMA also has a national exercise program. And you can get involved if you want. I mean, I think it's too late for this year to submit some some, to submit your plan on what kind of thing you would do. And they have a checklist here for you even. You can examine your current state of organizational continuity programs, your local continuity of operations, COOP. I believe I had shown the entire timeline for the state of Nevada, and more specifically for Clark County, where they had activated their COOP like 2 days before Trump had declared the national emergency for COVID. They were on it here already, and they instituted and activated their continuity of operations here in Clark County and Nevada and across our entire state pretty much. But you can, you can identify and you can work up your own little exercise program, meeting some of their criteria, of course. And FEMA will actually fund you and like give you resources and offer you support to carry out your exercise program. And you can get involved in the National Exercise Program. What is the National Exercise Program? Well, the National Exercise Program is a cycle of exercises across the nation that examines and validates capabilities in all preparedness mission areas: prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery. FEMA's National Exercise Program, or FEMA's National Exercise Division, manages the NEP. Why participate in the NEP? Well, you can receive technical assistance and support throughout design, development, conduct, and evaluation of your exercises from experienced exercise specialists. You can access exercise templates, tools, and other resources to help you design and conduct and evaluate your exercises. You can pursue new exercise ideas and broaden the impact of your exercises to a wider group of stakeholders. Influence national preparedness policy. Let me repeat that. You can influence national preparedness policy and resource allocation decisions at all levels by contributing exercise findings. So in other words, you put together your little exercise that you want to do, whether maybe it has something to do with responding to an active shooter situation, wildfires, floods, avalanche, if you live in one of those areas. You can create an exercise program to study the effects of dog piss in the middle of the street and the effects that it would have on kids riding by in their bicycles. I mean, they're pretty specific on some of the exercises and the programs that they offer support for, but if you look at some of the details of what some of the past exercises are, and I'll go into that in another video, but if you look at what has been approved in the past for previous exercise programs, you will find that many of these exercise programs that are developed and these scenarios that are created are not just have foreign influences on them, but some of them are coordinated and put out through universities where they'll use college students even, and they'll encourage college students, or even at a high school level, they will encourage high school students to think about a disaster scenario and then try to think of ways to respond to it, mitigate it, and recover from it, and develop a resilience to it in the future. And you can present this, like I said, to FEMA, and they'll like give you support for it. They'll offer you up, whatever you need if you ask for it. I mean, all exercises submitted to the NEP will be considered. However, support depends on resource availability and a strong support request package. Local and tribal jurisdictions, as well as new sponsors who have not submitted support requests in the past, are heavily encouraged to apply. So they want new people involved. They want fresh faces. They want fresh ideas. And as I said, exercises in the NEP contribute evaluation data to the national preparedness system to provide a clearer picture of the nation's readiness. And that's where these type of programs would influence policy, which then influences everyone as a whole. So anyway, you can request a packet on this if you're interested in it. You can get your little exercise starter kit for tabletop exercise on whole community resilience and continuity. And they have this whole little starter kit, tells you how to go through it. You can use all their little resources. They give you plenty of resources so that you can develop your own little program. And now this was from last year. Now this is already going on 10 minutes. Damn, this is way too long already. I wanted to go into some more of this stuff here too about weather modification and stuff too, but maybe I'll save that for another one. That'll be like a separate one. This was an interesting one that just came out on April 4th. President Joseph R. Brandon approved major disaster declaration for California. Okay, FEMA announced that federal disaster assistance has been made available to the state of California to supplement state, tribal, and local recovery efforts in the areas affected by severe winter storms, straight line winds, flooding, landslides, and mudslides. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting because it is very much all about the money when it comes to some of these things. This was another interesting one, too, out of Oakland, California. Wildfire mitigation protects 500 Lake County homes. Wow, isn't that special? Isn't that special? Defensible space helps keep the area around a home free of excess or dead vegetation like grasses, shrubs, trees, leaves, and fallen pine needles. When defensible space is maintained, there is less flammable material near homes to ignite and provides firefighters space to defend personal property during a fire. Now, this is the same logic that was based around a lot of the tests that they did out here in Nevada back in the 60s with nuclear testing, where they, showed examples of one house that had a bunch of like trash and debris all around it, and the paint was peeling off of it. And they gave an example, like, of another house sitting right next to it that was all clean and pristine. There wasn't a bunch of trash and grass and nothing all around it. And, they set off and detonated their explosion. And then they told about how, well, now see how this house here that had all this clutter and debris and peeling paint is just burned and burned and burned, and it burned for too long, and it caused excess damage, where this house over here that was all nice and clean and pristine didn't burn as long. So you want to make sure you keep your house and your property clean and neat at all times. That kind of message was pretty interesting. But anyway, that's going to be another one. That'll be another one. I want to go into Golden Gavel legal exercise for Northern California catastrophic earthquake. This is pretty interesting. This is a tabletop exercise up and coming, May 23rd of 2023. It's a tabletop exercise for federal, state, tribal, and local attorneys to discuss the legal issues that may arise from a catastrophic earthquake impacting the San Francisco area. So they are meeting next month to discuss all of the legal issues that may arise from a catastrophic earthquake impacting the San Francisco area. So they're preparing for something there. Anyway, I'll do another one on weather as well, because I got some of these patent information, and I wanted to show some of the other information here from weather as a force multiplier on weather as well. But finish out this one real quick here. I wanted to show this. This was from fall of 2022, the National Exercise Program, an exercise support overview webinar. Okay, and this is, they kind of outlined some of, I think I already explained that before, that it's a cycle of exercises across the nation that examines and validates capabilities in all preparedness, mission areas, prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery. Let's see. Benefits of participating in the NEP. Yeah, I think I already went through that one on the other one. Yeah, the part that really gets me, though, that I take away from this information is that your national exercise program and your exercise that you develop can influence national preparedness policy, okay, and how we move forward in certain situations and stuff. So, yeah, this was, this was last year, of course. So now then, this was the spring exercise support round deadline was April 3rd. May 5th, NED disseminates support decisions to sponsors. So they're going to be making the decision based on all of the submissions that they got from people here over this last like 5 to 6 months or so. Very soon here, they're going to be disseminating their funding, disseminating their support to them, so you can be expecting some of these exercises to be kicking off. And you can contact your local region. You can contact your FEMA regional coordinator. I have that kind of information here too that shows contacts for the different this is for region 1 there. But you can contact your local, I shouldn't say local, you can contact your FEMA manager for your region and ask them for additional information and to find out like a schedule of any up and coming types of national exercise programs. And you can contact the NEP office right directly to find out whether or not they're doing any exercise programs in your area. So, yeah, this is just kind of going through some of the guidelines and stuff here as well. And now you have your FEMA managers, that I just showed you for our region as well, as part of the 10 regions. But for the National Exercise Program, they have Regional Exercise Officers, or REOs. So this is a totally separate group of people that is running the NEP program as well. So there's a whole nother, we're talking about a big budget allocated for this kind of stuff here. In order to create the National Exercise Program itself, you have all of these other positions that were created. And if you start looking up some of these names, I'm not going to go into that because this is already going on 17 minutes long. I'm sure if anybody's still watching, well, cool, thank you very much. You're triple awesome. But you can do a little bit of research if you want and look up some of these names for the regional exercise officers, and you can kind of take a pretty good guess as to how and when they got their positions after this whole thing was implemented 4 years ago. So let me see, review process. Yeah, so they have a criteria. I'm going to cover this really quick because they ultimately will decide who gets the support and who gets to move forward with their little exercise program that they develop. So I do believe that they are prioritizing certain applicants and certain applications at this particular time, and at the same time ignoring other people who have developed exercise programs to test other things that they don't necessarily want us testing, that they won't support. And one of the issues that when I had started looking up additional information on any of the research that the Southern Nevada Health District and the public health officials here in Southern Nevada had done towards as far as COVID was concerned, I posed some very serious questions to these people here, and I have yet to get the answers for it, and I'm pretty sure that I already have the answers, because if they had put forth exercise programs and done anything to test, different things as far as studying what the plexiglass everywhere actually does, because if they would have done these type of exercise programs ahead of time, then they would have known that a lot of these measures that they took actually facilitated, a lot of situations. And I do believe that when they do these national exercise programs like this, it most definitely influences the news cycle. It definitely influences the narrative. And if it's something that fits into their whole mainstream, then they're more likely to push it forward. You're more likely to get the support for your exercise to move forward with your little exercise, especially if it comes to things with climate stuff. Now, that seemed to be one of the main focuses as well, was whether the exercise examines climate adaptation, and not necessarily to do with the climate that we know of as like weather, but climate as in the climate of like when you pick a specific topic to focus on, let's say, you know, you're going to focus on how to mitigate and respond to a flash flood, so to speak. You have to take in all of the information all the way around it. I don't know how else to explain it. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. Priority exercise topics for analysis in 2023 to 2026. Catastrophic incident coordination, climate resilience and adaptation, cybersecurity and critical infrastructure, public health emergencies, supply chain resilience, and recovery. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, this video is 20 minutes. Holy crap. Anyway, that's it. I'll do another one and go into a little bit more about some more of the weather modification and weather as a force multiplier. And I want to show a little bit more about the tiger meat too. That one I have not forgotten to do a part 2. I still want to do a part 2 on the NATO tiger meet and NATO exercise with different squadrons where their venue changes every year. And I think myself personally, I think it's just an excuse for them to occupy territory and be over in places that they really don't have any business of being in, but they can use this exercise as an excuse. But that's upcoming too. So anyway, if you're still watching, thank you for watching. You are quadruple awesome, and I appreciate you. And please stay tuned if you're interested in this kind of information, because I'll definitely do another one on weather modification and then the NATO tiger meat part 2.